Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. You are watching Leaping Forward. Some of you are watching us on Visita's official Facebook page. Hello, you guys. Thank you for joining us. I know some of you are watching us on VHub, Visita's user community. Hello to you guys too. Thank you so much for joining us. We are really excited for our session today. It is all about leaping forward. It's going to focus on areas where you can grow and make this year a successful year for you and your business. 2020 is finally here. It's a year that is full of promise and opportunity. We have all the reasons to believe that this is going to be a great year for the small business community. 2021 has been a challenge, but if it has taught us one thing, it has taught us that the small business community is strong and resilient and resourceful and we've been so inspired by your bravery, by your innovation, by your willingness to fight for your business, make things work, take advantage of the opportunities that are out there. And that's what we're going to be discussing here today. We've gathered to discuss trends that are shaping this new year, that are going to create new opportunities for you guys this year. We're also going to share some areas of focus for us this year. We're going to talk a little bit about, things that we've done this past year that to help you become more aligned with the current trends. We're going to talk about the future of Visita, what you guys can expect, what are going to be our main areas of focus this year, how we plan to support you and your business's growth this year. We're going to go over, we have a couple of topics that we're going to go over. We're going to start by talking a little bit about the name of the hour, which is online, the trend of moving online. This is something we've been hearing so much about. We've focused so much on talking about online transformations this past year. We're going to talk about what do online transformations look like now at the beginning of 2021. We're going to talk about community and how small businesses are leaning on their communities, gaining their support, how communities have really helped us get through these challenging times. We're going to talk a little bit about remote work and how teamwork has changed dramatically over the last year. We've become, we've really kind of push the envelope when it comes to working better together, everyone working from their own home, but still being able to maintain a good level of transparency and communication. And finally, we're going to talk about show me the money. We're going to talk about building financial resilience, which is probably one of the most important topics that we're going to address in today's session. So make sure not to go anywhere. The session will be recorded if you do need to hop off, but I do highly recommend you stick with us. We're broadcasting live and we're going to have a great time. We have two guests from Visita's leadership team here with us today. So thank you so much, ladies, for joining us. I want to introduce you guys to Shelly. Shelly is Chief Product Officer at Visita. Hi, Shelly. How are you?
Hi, how are you? Thank you for hosting me. I'm very excited.
Thank you for joining us. We're really excited to have you here. We know you have lots of information to share, and we can't wait to hear from you. Guys, just a short, you can take a look at her bio, read more about her online. Shelly's been with Visita for 9 years. She has driven Visita's product development. She knows a lot about technology. She knows a lot about people, a lot about businesses, and she's combined all that knowledge to lead Visita's platform development in a direction that is beneficial for small businesses and takes advantage of the latest trends in technology. Shelly and her team are really involved in the small business community. They speak to small business owners on a regular basis to learn about your day-to-day, learn about what it looks like, what it feels like to be in the shoes of a small business owner. What are the challenges? What are the opportunities? Some of you guys that are here with us today may have actually spoken to Shelly or a member of her team. You can drop her a little wave in the comments if you've spoken to her in the past. Shelly, I know you have lots of insights to share with us here today, so thank you so much for joining us. Our second guest today is Adi, who is CMO, Chief Marketing Officer here at Visita. Adi, thank you so much for being here. Hi, how are you?
I'm very good, very excited to be here, but mostly very excited to be co-visiting here with Shelly, because the whole time that we worked together, I don't think we ever did a panel together. So exciting stuff, exciting.
What a time to be alive. We have these two ladies here with us today who have 2021. What a time to be alive. Great stuff happening. We have great content lined up for you today. So Adi is leading Visita's marketing and strategy. She's helping bring the message of Visita to the small business community. Adi has a strong background in leadership, and she has been in touch with the small business. Can I say you've been like in a long-term relationship with the small business community, because you have done so much with the community? I know you're really in touch with so many community leaders, so many individuals. Adi is like kind of this person where she always has these stories where like she's, someone walking there, she bumps into someone walking their dog, and suddenly, they're telling her their whole life story and their business and she's telling them about what they can do with their business. And basically every conversation with Adi always starts with, I met this small business owner, and this is what I think will really help them grow.
My true apologies to Rebecca and her dog, if she's listening to us today. I absolutely did not mean to have your dog chase me as I was running.
No, but Adi is extremely passionate.
Sorry.
No, I'm sure she benefited from that conversation, so probably no need to apologize. Adi, we all know that you are extremely passionate about helping small businesses and creating opportunities for them, helping them take advantage of digital trends, digital opportunities, and that is exactly what we're here to discuss today. So Adi, I know you have a couple of trends that you're familiar with, and first and foremost, the online trend. So tell us a little bit about where things are currently standing when it comes to this online transformation story that we've been hearing for almost a year now.
Yeah, well, first of all, I think you've mentioned my role as communicating Visita to the world. I think in many ways it's also both Shelley and my role to communicate the world into Visita. And if there's one thing that we've been able to actively participate in as a conversation, is this conversation about let's get online. We're gonna go online. Everyone needs to get online. And I was obviously asked about it by random people that I met in the street and are now good friends of mine who have very, very nice dogs, but also by our partner community, in the many channels that we communicate with our user base. And I think there's a lot of confusion around what does it actually mean to be online. Is it valuable advice for us to be telling a corner shop or a fitness trainer or a masseuse that now they have to become online entrepreneurs? And I think it's very important that we serve our community and we serve the people that we support here in trying to break that down into specifics. And the specifics is that, yes, not all businesses are expected to become Instagram influencers. This is not the comfort zone of a lot of us. I know definitely not for me. And I think the question is, what aspect of my business can I benefit, can benefit from using more digitalized approach, digital technologies? What will my customers benefit from? And that's different for every business. So again, the hairdresser or the masseuse, probably not the same areas of benefit as a lawyer or someone who's able to do telemedicine. So let's break it down to the specifics. We definitely do that. We have a lot of platforms at Visita to help our clients understand what would work for them. By the way, we also have self-assessment tools to help you really break it down to specifics. There are two things that I would like to take into account before I pass on to Shelley. One is, absolutely everyone can benefit from an online presence, whether it's to allow online payments, that we all can, whether it's to allow your clients to take self-service actions. And people expect that. People are used to getting this level of service from bigger businesses and bigger chains. So don't assume that your clients are the only ones in the world who still love calling you. Not because they don't like you, but because it's time consuming. And the other thing that I would like you to take into account is, the question of how do we create scale? And I do, as you say, I talk to a lot of people. I hear so many people talk about, yes, for years, every evening, I used to sit on the, settee and text all of my tomorrow's appointments, to remind them that the appointment is happening. And if I forgot someone, they either were offended or they didn't show up. That became a half an hour thing that I'm doing on a day-to-day basis. So digitalization and automation is not about taking your personal touch away. It's about extending and scaling up your capabilities. And everything that we are going to talk about today, and Shelley's going to talk about now, is around that. Not, allowing that digital, cyberspace come between you and your client, but rather free you up to do what's important, which is to create the physical face-to-face experience, while everything else the system does for you.
I think that's an excellent point to highlight, because I know we have been hearing concerns about people saying, how can I take this personal connection that I have with someone, the conversation, the personal interaction, and bring that into an online space? I'm definitely going to lose something. And I think that's a good positive way to look at it is indeed that being in the online space, whatever that means for your business and to what degree, you are really bringing your services online, you can actually use this as an opportunity to provide more of a personalized experience, know more about your clients, have more of an organized way of tracking important information that allows you to give you this personalized service, and not necessarily relying on a good old-fashioned notebook or Post-it or whatever it is. So thank you for that, Adi. And Shelley, I know that you, the whole online transformation has obviously been a big focus for you and your team this year, and that you have dedicated so much into making this, online and digital experience available and accessible to all types of business. So tell us a little bit what this online transformation looks like from your end of things.
True. So indeed, it was a crazy year. Just to introduce myself again, in case you missed it, I'm Shelley. I'm in charge of the product management here in Visita, which basically means I'm in charge of understanding your needs and translating it into development. Into priorities. And it was a very exciting year. I think at the beginning of it, we had great plans for 2020, and then COVID happened, right? So we had to adjust. And the good news were that we were already a leading product in terms of online services. And I think that you guys, and most of you, I guess, are already Visita users. It was quite easy for you to adjust because you already had all these tools Visita gives you, like online scheduling and online payments, etc. And you could adjust. We heard about so many businesses who all of a sudden found themselves trying to reinvent themselves, right? Because customers and clients all over the world that were not really accustomed necessarily to book a session with you online were now kind of needing it. And they were accommodated to, but maybe they were used to, I don't know, shop online or do bank services online, but not this. And that was a major change. And it was also a major change for businesses who did not have this digital or software options. So we got a lot of requests, and we really saw that in the amount of accounts being created. And to tell you the truth, I think it was like day 2 into the lockdown. We all sat together, the product team, and said, okay, let's stop and think about what we need to do now in order to help everyone to deal with the situation. And then we kind of readjusted everything. And I think maybe a week after that, we already launched the Zoom integration, which was kind of a must. It was apparent that everybody needs Zoom. So we released that, and that was I think adopted immediately. Maybe I should mention, and you can see on the next slide, that Visita already has the thing we call the client portal, and it's one of the areas in our product that we are most proud of, because it has everything you need basically to let your clients do self-servicing online, whether it's to book appointments or view their already booked appointments, make changes, and see outstanding payments and pay, and print out receipts and get documents and contact you. So we already have that, and that's another thing that in 2021 we're going to keep on developing, because I think it's becoming an essence, and I think that even and luckily we'll get out of this situation, and people will get back to meeting face to face. I think that still people will be accustomed to demand services online and will want to use this. Other things we did at the beginning of the year. So first, we decided to redo the scheduler, the online scheduler. We have one of the leading online schedulers out there because we're in the market in the last 10 years, but we wanted to make it better and more mobile ready and more easy to use, and that was released earlier this year. And then we immediately went into payments, because we also understood that now people are either not meeting at all or meeting but don't want to use cards. And so we added the mobile payment option where your client can just go ahead and pay for services. So these are things we did. And then going forward, we are going to keep on developing things around online servicing. And just one example that is, I'm just mentioning it because it's coming up quite soon, I hope in a month, is the ability for your customers to not only book on their behalf, but maybe on their children's behalf, or maybe you have a family account in your clinic and you want one person to book on behalf of others, or maybe you have several cases or jobs being done within your clients, and then you want to communicate about each case separately. So that's another thing you'll see on the client portal, where customers can see and actually select who, on behalf of whom they're doing the scheduling or the payment, and that can improve, I think, a lot of the workarounds you're doing currently. So I think it's going to be an exciting year around that. We are also, just to tell you what's going on behind the scenes, we are investing a lot in growing the team of people inside Visita that is dealing with online services. So you should see a lot of things around that.
Thank you, Shelly. This is a pretty exciting update. I think this is a great example of how you can then, give your customers this personal experience online, where you're really tailoring, the experience to their needs, to their family members, to the different cases they're working on together with you. I think this ties in really well to the message where this online experience can still be very personable and very personal, and kind of give your clients this feeling that you are invested, in giving them this good online experience, and that you want, you're trying to make it as easy and as accessible as possible for them. So thank you for this sneak peek. This is fun. Adi, I know that you have another area that we've discussed, several times, which I know is the whole area of community, and how communities are being impacted when it comes to being able to support the service providers that the community works with. Tell us, what are your thoughts here? Where do you stand right now when it comes to small businesses and their relationships with their communities?
Well, thankfully, it's not me. It's a big trend all around the world. And I think, again, if we're talking about the two-way, dependent relationship that the community has with a small business and the small business has with the community, if there's one thing, and obviously over Corona we heard a lot of statistics around, small businesses are 90% of businesses in almost every economy, over 50% of employers. It's really nice to talk about it in big numbers, and it's definitely very impressive. And by the way, for us, we're really, really proud to be supporting specifically this amazing community of entrepreneurs and dreamers, and definitely, as you said earlier, the most agile and more creative. But I think we also have to take into account that your clients trust you. They need you to be there. They want to support you through this. And if there's one like overwhelming trend that we are seeing, and I've been there myself actually, is that the clients around you, the community around you, they have specific interest in your survival as a business, in your not just surviving but rather thriving. Possibly an overused word, but I think it's extremely important that we lean into that connection and into that community. And I've personally witnessed situations where, again, during Corona, individuals that had to move their services online and felt that possibly their clients won't be accepting of that. So, for example, I have a friend who's a psychologist, and she felt that breaking that holy connection of sitting in the same room on the same armchair with the same person week after week is going to be maybe a lower level of service for her clients. And she was willing to, basically compromise and charge them less. And I've seen firsthand those clients saying, no, we don't want to be charged less. We are getting the same benefit from you. We have a long-term relationship with you, and we would like to support you. I've also seen, again, an overwhelming amount of clients coming to their businesses and basically demanding to pay ahead on packages of services. So I know that I'm going to be training with my trainer, 3 times a week. That's what I do when I'm at home. And, I know that I'm able to buy, let's say 20 sessions in advance and give him the peace of mind and give myself the peace of mind that he will come out of this, stronger. And I absolutely encourage you, again, lean into your communities and understand that your services are needed and they are valued. Otherwise, you wouldn't be having that relationship that you already have with your community. And open up the communication channels. Tell them, maybe tell them that you're worried that your service is now not as it was. Maybe tell them what the situation of your business is right now. You should be able to have an open, if I may even use the word vulnerable, discussion with those people, because they are your biggest supporters. And what we found is that communities rally to keep the small businesses alive within them because they know how important they are.
Thank you for that optimistic and uplifting message. I think I'm sure this is something that all the audience can really relate to today, that, these relationships have taken us a long way through this passing year. And I think our mission, and I know, Shelly, I know that you have some great insights here. Our mission here at Visita has really been providing the infrastructure for managing these relationships, even when it's happening from a distance. So, Shelly, let's talk a little bit about community and loyalty, and how there's these really important ties between a service provider and the community it serves.
Right. So let's try to translate that into the product, right? Because our product is all about our customers and then they meeting their clients, etc. So we in the product team really tried hard to think about what businesses that have recurring, not necessarily recurring, but returning clients will need. And that was actually easy, as Adi mentioned, because all of us are returning clients, and all of us got, again, into the COVID situation where we wanted to keep communicating with our trainers or our yoga teachers or our consultants and counselors. And we all encountered the same issues and the same problem around that. So if I'll translate it into the core Visita and what Visita does, I think there's a kind of a rhythm when it comes to returning clients. And that is you are delivering a great service, and then you need to collect money. I mean, it doesn't come for free, and then you need to make sure that the next booking is being done, and that's what we are trying to look at. And for example, one way is to create recurring session, right? We have that feature in the calendar where you can create recurring meeting, but we are, for example, decided to improve it by a lot, and you'll see in the next few months some improvements there to really help and make it better and more easy to use. And then on the next slide, you can see another alternative for that, which is give your customers an option to easily book with you. And I've mentioned the client portal area earlier, but I think it really creates a connectivity and loyalty when your clients have your app just right on their mobile phone. And I don't know if you're even aware of that option with Visita, but your clients can just decide to pin your app, and then it's being added. They don't need to download it for any app store. It's just they pin it when they see it on the when they first visit your client portal, and it's being added to their mobile home and acts exactly like an app basically. And so that can create loyalty, and you can encourage your customers to do so, and then ease up all the whole scheduling process. And then another thing we did around that was handling prepayment, because if you have a lot of returning clients, you sometime want to just offer them maybe a special deal or a bundle of services that they can prepay and then come on and claim. And I think that was very popular during COVID, because a lot of businesses had to shut down for a bit or couldn't give the same service, and then or there were lockdowns, etc. And then you just offered packages, and as Adi mentioned earlier, the customers are loyal to you, and they do want to help you, and then they bought it because they wanted to help you stay alive and then enjoy their discount later. And that's a great opportunity to create a happy customer, as well as ensure secure your income. So that was packages, and I think when getting back to the rhythm of things, this is a use case where businesses such as yourself, like gyms or beauty salons, can charge in advance and then give the service. But I think there is also a lot of use cases where, for example, in healthcare, right? You don't necessarily want to charge before the service. You want to charge post-service. So then there's a lot of flows where you want to charge after every meeting, or you want to charge every month, and you don't want to keep chasing that. You want it to be like seamless. So another big investment is going to be around that, about how to create good automated recurring billings, and you should expect that this year.
Thank you for another sneak peek into what we can expect this year. And I love the use of the word rhythm. I think creating a rhythm with customers, seeing your interactions kind of as one continuous relationship, and not as necessarily moving from, one booking, did they book the next session? Did they book the next session? But seeing it more as an ongoing relationship, and giving your customers a way to, making it easy for them, kind of creating this infrastructure where that's just the way you work. You work on a returning basis, on a recurring basis. I think this is a really interesting direction we're looking into this year. And, something I always say at the beginning of these broadcasts, and I think it escaped me this time, is that we are obviously all broadcasting from our home offices, which is pretty apparent. I mean, we don't have these records just hanging around, randomly on our walls in the Visita headquarters. And as you can imagine, nor do we have big windows behind us, or, Shelly's obviously in her home too. So we've all been working from home. It's been such a emotional roller coaster. I can just think of how many times I've been sitting here in this very chair and have, my dog, kind of drop something behind me and I kind of turn around and my whole working station is kind of shaky. So working from home has definitely had its challenges too. It's something we were all coping with, and it definitely impacted teamwork. And I know Adi is a big believer in teamwork. Adi, what's teamwork looking like these days?
I bet you're saying that because you're part of my team, right? Well, look at this team, Yeah, of course you have to, but look at how this team is coming together, right? So, yeah, I think obviously, and again, we're talking about the challenges of going online. We're talking about the challenges of making sense of it. If there's one thing that really buying into a digitalization of your small business can help you with is with team communication. Now, you're probably already communicating with your team in a digital way, maybe over text messages, maybe over WhatsApp, maybe you're exchanging emails. It's not a new concept that you'll be, talking to each other in a digital way. We obviously all do that. But I think, eventually this situation made us, step up in terms of our internal infrastructures, in terms of how we document things. Because some of us might be working during the day, some of us might be working during the night. I've read very interesting articles, by the way, about how to build an inclusive business that can, tolerate those things, that can tolerate potentially someone being, minding their kids during the middle of the day, which is probably happened to us too much this year, like more than we would have liked to. And I think one of the things that we're talking about here is how do we not just communicate in this situation, how do we over communicate? Like, how do we take documentation and communication to the next level, and how do we make sure that nothing is missed? Because eventually, clients are out there, they need you, you need each other. So all over communication is the inclusive way to build teams right now. And, in many ways, and I know it worked for us, and I know it worked for a lot of people, it was an opportunity for us to also rethink, how do we document what we're doing? How do we communicate around what we're doing? And we come out of this a better team. We come out of it better communicators. We actually give better service to our clients and our partners as a result. And you should, again, take this opportunity. Yes, there's a lot of stress. Yes, there's a lot of things going on, but also in a way, there's also a level of maybe a little break or a level of peace that allows you to ask yourself, am I doing communication as well as I would have liked to? And again, how lucky are we to have Shelley here to talk about some of the things that we're doing in Visita to help you with that.
Right. So I think every team that started working from home, I think the first thing they did was to create some kind of a decision about how they're going to communicate and when and how often and with what software. And I think Visita has a lot to offer with that, because it's already a team management tool. So, for example, with our calendar, you can see everyone's calendar and then see who's doing what and when. And also our client cards, where if several team members are actually communicating with the same customer, then it's very important that they'll be in sync. And our client card really allows that. And the new version of the client card that was released around October really helps with that. So everyone can see everyone else's comments, unless of course you don't want to do that. And then we have this very specific roles and permissions options of who can see payment data and who can see messages done by other staff members, etc. But in essence, you can collaborate as much as you want or uncollaborate as much as you want. And so I think We will see more improvements on that this year. I think we'll expand even more the roles and permissions options to give you more flexibility. And then another thing that is going to be in our focus is helping you understand what's going on in the grander level, in the admin level of who's doing what, who's performing, which service are you providing better, or are you getting more revenue from? So we are going to introduce some reporting tools, some very robust reporting tools that can help you with that. And so I'm not gonna spoil the surprise, but you should expect it as well in 2021.
Thank you for another sneak peek, and I think we've arrived to probably one of the most important parts of this broadcast, which is, as I said earlier, show me the money. So Adi, show us the money.
Well, I think, it's always an awkward point of conversation when you have to talk to someone about, payment, right? I think none of us particularly enjoys that conversation, but I think we have to reframe this and talk about, eventually this is what you're doing for a living. You're probably doing it for a passion. You're probably doing it because you very much, receive and give away, give value to your community doing this. But eventually you need to build resilience within your business, and also your customers need you to have resilience. And this again ties back to the point of your community needs you just as much as you need them. And if there's one thing, I obviously you got the hint by now that we think this is extremely important. But if there's one thing that we want you to take away from this conversation, is use 2021 as a reset button for how you manage your financials. And if there's, again, one thing that I hear from people all the time is, I wish I was more organized with my collection. I wish I was, I was doing it faster at the end of the month, or I wish I was charging maybe just a deposit or a partial payment from people that are canceling on me last minute. I wish I had a way to help them, pay me faster. And again, all of these things might be a little bit awkward conversations, but by making it much, much easier for both yourself and the client to have that transaction, everyone benefits. And at the end of the day, I'm sure 99% of clients are not paying you late because they don't want to pay you. Especially in the service business, they might have forgotten, they might have had, some awkward personal reason. This is not the discussion about why do you or don't you want to pay me. It's about how do I make it much, much easier for you to pay me. And we are introducing a lot of features and have been introducing a lot of features in recent months. And again, I encourage you to go in and take a look and research and talk to us, by the way, talk to our customer support, talk to our customer success if you're not sure that you're using the full, the full feature set, because this is a chance for us to reset how we think about money, how we talk about money, and how we manage money within our business.
Thank you, Adi. I think, I can see that people are it's always a little bit touchy when it comes to money. And I think creating a infrastructure that helps helps individuals manage financials in a way where, you're saving the awkward conversations, you're having kind of, something that you're having like more of a flow for things, you're having more of a process, something you don't have to kind of reinvent the wheel every single time and say, kind of sit and wonder, wait a second, how much do I have an amount due? This is, at the end of the day, it really comes down to turning that amount due into actual money in the bank and doing it with grace. And, again, remembering that people the people that work with you are it's a relationship. They want to continue working for you. They want to support you, and that's exactly what I think Shelly had in mind when she embraced this feeling of creating an infrastructure that supports small businesses when it comes to managing their finance. So Shelly, I think everyone is pretty curious to hear what you're going to say now.
Yeah, so I think of all things we've just mentioned, I think that the biggest investment in Visita's product is going to be around payments, and we've started that already, and I've mentioned some of the features earlier in the presentation. So the packages and our addition, our game changer feature, which is mobile payments, which allows a contactless way to pay, whether you're in a meeting in person or when it's remote and you just don't use a card. And we've seen a huge adoption of it, and I think it's a great improvement. And I've also mentioned that we're going to invest in recurring billing, which is also can help you a lot and reduce the friction. I think that when it comes to payments, there's a lot of scenarios and a lot of flows. And I know that in order to make things easier, we get tons of requests, right? So the ability to leave tips and put deposits on invoices or on bookings, and to manage credit and to pay with installments. There's a bunch. And we are going to tackle them. So we are really invested in solving those. And that's what you'll see a lot in 2021. And I think that you'll be very happy with it. And I also, maybe getting back to what Khalil mentioned at the beginning, we are very keen to hear from you guys. So yes, we always track our awesome Facebook group, and we are reading the scoring you give us inside the app. That it's sometimes annoying, but for us it's gold. And we are hearing things from customer success, from partners, and we have a lot of information. But it's really, I think the most effective way is always to hear it directly from you guys. So if you have ideas around it or things that are really bothering you, really feel free to contact our team. We can publish later how, or through customer success. And we are very, very happy to speak with you in person and hear all about it. So that's it for me. I think there was one more hint that Khalil wanted me to share with you around payments. So I'm going to do that. So another feature you're going to see soon is selling like products when you're providing services, right? So often when you're selling a package, you also want to add some bonus stuff and perks in it, or sometimes when somebody visits your gym, they also pick something up, and we're going to allow you to do that. And we've already released a way to set a product list, but we are going to soon enable it on packages and then on invoices, etc. So expect that.
Thank you for throwing in that extra tidbit, Shelly. I know basically it really comes down to us having this conversation with our community, hearing from you guys about, how you collect, how you run your business, how we can support you as a platform and create more opportunities for you to thrive and grow. And I think products is a great example of feedback that we received from the community. And hopefully we'll be seeing this very soon. So thank you for sharing.
I hear people cheering in the background. I think that in particular made people's day. So thank you, Shelly.
Absolutely. And that's just a sneak peek. And there is so much more to come, you guys. We are committed to making 2021 a successful year for you and your business. We are here together. We are here to support you. We are here to provide you with the tools you need to make this a successful year for you and your business. I'd like to just remind you guys, and Shelly just mentioned this briefly, we are here and we're listening. We're open to suggestions. If you have any kind of ideas that you would like to share, we do have our Facebook group for users, VHub, the Visita the Visita user group on Facebook. If you're not part of it, we would love to have you there and have you join the discussion. And if you want to reach out and have a chat with someone, talk a little bit about your business, maybe learn more about what you could be doing within Visita, we would absolutely love to hear from you. I'd like to thank you very much, Shelly and Adi, for joining us. This has been a pleasure. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for
Thank
sharing.
you for having us.
No, thank you for coming. I'm here. This is just me doing my show, and you're the ones that are actually providing the insights and the value and the content. I try to provide some value too. Thanks again for joining us, you guys. We will be back soon with more insights. As I mentioned, we're in this together, and we are committed to doing everything we can to make this a successful year. So thanks you again for joining. Have a great rest of your day, and we will see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.